Good morning! Salem Witch Trials time. And tomorrow's Friday the 13th. Little crazy. Okay, so we're learning about the Salem Witch Trials. I know it seems like anti-woman week, but I think that's a good thing we're learning about this, so we realize how important women's rights are and how we need to keep fighting for equality for everyone, race, religion, or gender. So let's keep reading about how the Puritans treated the woman. Okay, so this was a specific village, Danvers. It was called Salem Village back then. And they got a little witch crazy. Now, witch hunts happened, especially in Europe 100, 200 years earlier. But this got out of hand, and they actually started carrying out the executions. All right, let's learn. The Salem Witch Trials by Geoffrey Wallace. Chapter 1. A Puritan Village. In 1492, in Salem Village, Massachusetts, life was serious business. The Puritan families who lived there raised their own food, they made their own clothing. Everyone was expected to work hard in order to survive. Puritans were serious about their religion, too. It was against the law not to attend church. Everyone was expected to conform to or agree upon the church's ideas. Thinking or acting differently was not acceptable. Puritans believed all sins should be punished. If something bad happened to a person, they believed it was a punishment from God. And remember, that's kind of what Governor Winthrop thought of Anne Hutchinson, right? It was a judgment of God. There's a Puritan home in Salem Village, Massachusetts, so that would probably be Danvers today. A woodcut of Puritan family, a woodcut engraving. The devil was real to the Puritans. They believed he was always trying to get people to do evil. They felt he tried hardest to get weak people to do his work. Those who did were considered witches. Witchcraft, or the use of magic and spells, was a terrible sin to Puritans. It was punishable by death. Puritan children were like little adults. They were sent to school, but after school they had to work. Playing was also forbidden. Instead, children read the Bible and books that warned them against evil. In 1689, a new minister had come to Salem Village. His name was Samuel Parris. Some were glad he had come. Others did not want him there at all. This split led to bad feelings. Often, Parris' salary was not paid. Parris preached sermons warning that the devil was at work in the community. The Puritans were worried too. There had been Indian attacks, smallpox, a serious disease that had broken out recently. Crops failed. The Puritans feared God was angry with them. Parris's daughter Betty was 9. His 11-year-old niece, Abigail Williams, also lived with the family. The girls and some friends met to practice fortune-telling. They listened to stories of an enslaved West Indian woman named Tituba. Parris had bought Tituba from the island of Barbados. Tituba's tales of witchcraft and demons were exciting to Puritan girls. That might sound weird, but that's a lot of people watch horror movies, right? Or read horror books like Goosebumps, right? And if you're bought, that means she was a slave. Betty, Abigail, and their friends began having strange fits or spells. Sometimes they fell to the floor squirming and screaming. The village doctor examined them but found no illness. He said they were bewitched or under a spell. Chapter 2. Witchcraft. Witchcraft. Sorry. Witchcraft was a crime. The girls were asked to tell who had bewitched them. At first, they did not want to speak. Then they admitted that 3 women had bewitched them. The girls named Tituba, Sarah Osborne, and Sarah Good as witches. People found it believable that these women could be witches. None were thought to be respectable. Sarah Osborne was an old woman who had not been to church in a year. Sarah Good was a homeless woman who mumbled under her breath. Some thought her mutterings were curses. A woman is arrested for witchcraft. Witchcraft. Oh, I did it again, sorry. The 3 women were questioned by magistrates or judges. The suffering girls screamed and tumbled on the floor. In spite of this, Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne said they were innocent. Tituba, on the other hand, confessed. Means she admitted she was a witch. All 3 accused were taken to jail in nearby Boston. Jail conditions were harsh. 2 months later, Sarah Osborne died. Chapter 3. The Trials. More and more accusers came forward. More and more people were accused of witchcraft. Some of them were important people in the community. They were well-liked and respected. For example, 71-year-old Rebecca Nurse was accused. She was kind and generous. George Burroughs, who was also accused, had been a minister in Salem Village. Some people began to have doubts about the accusations or charges. Were all of these people truly witches? By the end of May 1692, some 200 people were in jail. Why was it so easy to convince the judges these people were witches? The court allowed something called spectral evidence. This meant that a specter or ghostly image of a person harmed the victim. The specter of Tituba could be in one place, for example, while Tituba, the person, would be in another place. Accusers claimed the specters pinched, burned, or choked them. The fits of the afflicted girls were also convincing. They appeared to be suffering quite greatly. Most likely they were suffering from hysteria. This means that their minds and emotions were overly excited. This caused their bodies to behave strangely. The trial of Sarah Good, March 1st, 1692. The court asked Sarah Good the following questions at her trial. What evil have you familiarity? Are you friendly with? None. Have you made no contract with the devil? No. Why do you hurt these children? I do not hurt them. I scorn it. Why did you go away muttering from Mr. Parris's house? I did not mutter, but I thanked him for what he gave my child. What creature do you employ, then? No creature, I'm falsely accused. Sarah Good was hanged on July 19th, 1692. A condemned witch is sent to a hanging. Meanwhile, Governor William Phips set up a special court. Accused people were asked to confess. They had to say they joined forces with the devil. If they did, they would be saved. If they did not, they would be tried. 47 people confessed. All the people who were tried were found guilty. At first, the court found Rebecca Nurse not guilty. The afflicted girls howled, thrashed, and rolled on the floor. The judges asked the jury to think about her case again. This time, the nurse was found guilty. The guilty were condemned or sentenced to be hanged. As many as 19 people were hanged. One man was crushed to death. Giles Corey refused to answer the question of the court. The sheriff was told to pile stones on him until he answered. He refused. After 2 days, he died under the great weight. Chapter 4. An end to the madness. In October 1692, Increase Mather, an important Boston minister, spoke out. His writings convinced Governor Phips to end the special court. He believed that spectral evidence should not be allowed. More and more people became unhappy with what was happening. They saw that the witchcraft trials were out of control. Governor Phips stopped the trials. He said, many innocent persons might otherwise perish. In May 1693, Governor Phips pardoned or forgave those still in jail. The Salem witch trials were over. Still, crops failed in the fields. Outbreaks of disease continued. Now the Puritans felt God was punishing them for hanging innocent people. Therefore, a day of fasting and prayer was held in 1697. Samuel Parris was forced to leave Salem village in 1697. A new minister, Joseph Green, replaced Parris. He wanted to heal the wounds left by the witch trials. He helped bring peace to Salem village. There's a memorial that honors those who were executed during the Salem witch trial. In 1711, the lawmakers began to make up for the wrong that they had done. They awarded money to the families of the jailed. Slowly they began to declare innocent those who had been condemned. In the end, the Salem witch trials cost 25 lives. Most people were hanged, some died in jail, and one man was crushed to death under stones. Historians are still trying to understand why this happened, but the lesson was learned. No one in America was put to death for witchcraft ever again. Please study these words on the PDF. And you'll be answering these 4 questions on top. Please do that in complete sentences with good kickbacks. So I will put this on a Google Doc for you. Okay. I hope we don't find any witches. Ooh. Okay. Bye, guys.